Hi, besties. Welcome back to the Bestie Talk podcast. I'm your host, Kiannajit, and today we are talking about how to start showing up for yourself. I am really excited to be talking about this. Honestly, you guys, all day, or literally from last night to this morning, I was like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Miranda kept asking me, like, do you know what you're talking about? And I was like, nope, I have no idea. Literally no clue. Like, my mind was like blank. As most of you know, if you listened to last week's episode, I'm still kind of going through it a little bit with like grief and things like that. I think later on, maybe like a year from now, if I'm being honest, I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about grief and just my grief process and things, because there are so many things that I'm going through that I'm like, I know a lot of people have to be going through the same thing and are probably like, is this normal, and feels so abnormal? And I just want to use my platform to show you guys that you guys are normal and things are fucking normal. Just your mind, it's normal. It's not normal, okay? Because I say that to myself all the time, like, I'm not fucking normal and da 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 da. But you are normal. We're normal. Like, it's okay to think the way that you think and the way that your brain works. It's normal, and I want to prove that to you guys. So eventually, I will talk more about like my grief process and things like that. But bitch, let me tell you, just I never understood like. Or I would always know, like, grief comes in waves. Like, you hear that all the time. Like, you hear people say that all the time. But until you've really been, like, through grief or, like, have gone through it, then you, like, understand that it really does come in waves. And today's a good day. I've had some bad days the past couple of days, but today's a good day. And I'm excited because that means I get to sit down on this couch and talk to you guys and give you guys my advice, let you guys know what the fuck's been going on in my head, and help you guys through your journey of bettering yourselves. So today, we're really going to deep dive into how the fuck do you start to show up for yourself, because I would say, I feel like 95% of people in this fucking world are people pleasers. Like, we are people pleasers. I'm a people pleaser, or I'm a retired one. Okay, I'm retired. Like, so many people I know people please, and they just do things out of making other people comfortable rather than putting themselves first. And that was me for such a long time. So I really want to show you guys, teach you guys how to completely change that mindset, how to rewire your brain and to start showing up for yourself instead of putting yourself last and putting everybody else first. So the first thing that I want to talk about with showing how to show up for yourself is putting yourself first and actually fucking doing it. Because saying that you're going to put yourself first and actually putting yourself first are two different fucking things. I used to say that all the time, like, fuck, I'm putting myself first. Fuck this. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to put myself through this. And then I would just continue to go down the slope of putting everyone before me. And then I was like left on the back burner. And I really want to teach you guys how to like rewire your fucking brains into actually putting yourself first. So I want you guys, I want you to think of your best friend. Either your best friend, your person, like in Meredith Grey, Christina Yang, like they're like your person, okay? Like all my Grey's Anatomy fans, you know exactly what the fuck I just said, right? Your person, your partner, your parent, your sibling, your best friend, your coworker, somebody, your cousin, whoever that is like your person, right? Like the person that means the most to you. And imagine that they're going through a really bad mental health episode. Like they're really fucking struggling, okay? What would you do? Would you actually take them seriously in their mental health? Of course you would. Would you start doing things to help better their mental health, like taking them for walks, helping them journal, talking about the things that they're going through, really like just aiding them and helping them? Same thing like if they were like going through a sickness, if they weren't feeling good, like you would probably go over there and take them soup. You would really take care of them, right? You would like put yourself last and take care of them, really nurture them back to health. If they were going through something, if they needed you at the drop of a dime, if they like called you up at midnight and was like, hey, I need you, what would you do? You'd probably drop the phone and go running, right? Like most of you would do that. Okay, so I need you to do everything that you would do for your person and your loved one, to do it for your fucking self. Okay. And when I heard that for the first time, I don't remember where I heard that, but when I heard that for the first time, it fucking hit me in the gut. I was like, oh, because that is me. I am like me as a friend, me as a loved one, me as a sister, me as a daughter, a wife. will come running. I will drop whatever I am doing. You just give me one phone call. You just send me one text. And like the thing too is like I will do it for anybody. People who aren't even that close to me. People who like maybe I was close to a long time ago and they text me that they need me. I'm coming and I'm running. People who are close to me, I'm doing that. Like I am just like somebody who fucking drops shit and runs for whoever tells me they need me. I will do it. And I'm doing crazy ass shit. Like literally my husband will tell me like all the time, like you need to stop because you do too much for other people. And so when I heard that for the first time of like, you need to do what you would do for your friends and your family to yourself, it really fucking hit me. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, bitch. Like I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I do need to do that. And when I started to think that way and like actually like, okay, so if let's say like I want to start working out, like I want to start being better for myself. If my best friend told me, like, I need to start working out, I need you to come with me to the gym every single day to hold me accountable, I'm doing it. No questions fucking asked. I'm going to fucking do it because she's asking me. Because my best friend is asking me. So why the fuck do I not give myself that same discipline? Like, why am I not so obedient to myself the way I am to my friends or my family? When you start to think about yourself that way, that's when the fucking game changes. Because then you're like, I would get up and fucking cook my best friend breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I wouldn't fucking be going through the McDonald's drive-thru just to get her something to eat. I'd rather cook her something. I'd get my ass up and cook her something if she really wanted it. If my best friend called me and was like, I need you to go to the gym, I'm going to the gym. If my best friend was like, hey, I need you to do this phone call for me, like for me. So another thing that like I struggle with, I hate making phone calls. Like you guys, I can't do it. Like, I don't know who else, if anybody else out there can attest to that, but I hate it. I hate making phone calls. But if my best friend was like, hey, I really need you to call this person, like I really, really need you, I'm doing it, like no questions asked. So I need to do it for myself. And you guys really put that into your brains. Like I need you to start thinking that way of, because I know the ones out there, if you guys are anything like me, you're probably the same exact fucking way and you care so much about everybody else and you do so much for everybody else, but you barely do shit for your fucking self. So I started to keep that mindset. And like another thing I want to say too is like when you're changing your mindset, it doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to listen to this podcast and tomorrow you're going to wake up a whole brand new fucking person and just live your life a completely different way. No, it takes a time. Like you're going to have to take some time and you're going to actually have to work for it. Like I'm sorry, but I don't have a magic pill in this podcast that's going to make you guys change who you are tomorrow. You're going to have to work towards it. I'm going to give you guys the tools. I'm going to help you guys. Like I'm going to tell you guys what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and what to do, but you guys have to actually do the fucking work. I know it sucks. I hate it, but you have to, because if you continue to live your life this way of like always showing up for other people and not showing up for yourself, honey, you're gonna get burnt out. That is what happens. Like when we hear about women or just people in general when they're in like their 50s and 60s and they're fucking burnt out and they hate life and they're so miserable and they're so angry. Like when we see like baby boomers and they're fucking mad and they're like, they're angry. It's because they're fucking burnt out because they just did everything for everybody else their whole fucking life and put themselves on the back burner and now they're pissed off at everybody. And you don't want to be a baby boomer when you fucking grow up. You don't want to be mad and angry like that. Like hell no. I don't want to be miserable living life day to day. Like why the fuck did I not put myself first? Why didn't I like do the things that I wanted to do for myself, and why did I always spend time doing it for everybody else? Hell no, I'm not doing that. And I know you guys aren't going to want to do that either. So put yourself first. I need you guys to start living by that. Like as what I do for my best friend, I will do for myself. What I do for my loved one, I will do for myself. And just as you start to switch that mindset of like tomorrow when you wake up, right? I'm going to get up and get myself a glass of water because I would do that for my best friend and I would drink my water. I'm going to get up and go for a walk because I would do that for my best friend if she asked. Like things like that. Once you start to make that like conscious decision, whoo, honey, life begins to change. You're starting to show up for yourself. Like that's like the first step. Like that's like baby step, right? That's like, okay, I'm working on this. I'm starting to show up for myself. And then it gets easier. As every day goes on, it gets easier and easier and easier. And it just becomes like a natural instinct to put yourself first. Whereas so long ago, it was natural instinct to put everybody else first, but now you're putting yourself first. It gets easier. So the more you work on it, the easier it gets. I promise you. I promise you. The second step of showing up for yourself or learning how to show up for yourself is giving yourself the gift of time. That is, oh, you guys, going back to like what I was talking about earlier with my grandma and going through the grief process of her, I learned how valuable time is. I think I've always known how valuable time is. I'm somebody who is in the service industry, so my time is valuable. Okay. So I've always known time is valuable, but really like losing somebody, you realize like your time on this earth, any time that you have on this earth is so valuable and it's so precious. So spend it fucking wisely and spend it by giving it to yourself. Stop giving your time to people who don't deserve it. Okay. Your time is valuable. It's so precious. It's like the only real fucking thing that we have on this earth. Like everything else is fucking fake. Okay. Money, fame, everything else, it's fucking fake. Like this is not real. What is real is time, like our time. So stop giving that gift out to people who don't fucking deserve it, to people who don't need it, to people who don't use it, to people who don't value it. Okay, start giving it to yourself because you're going to use that time. You're going to value that time. You're going to appreciate that time if you give it to yourself. So start giving yourself your time. And by that, I mean actually spending your time with yourself and doing things that are going to help future version of you, right? So like getting up earlier. Right? Because I can get up earlier. I have more time in the day to do things that I need to do. For me, I was just telling one of my clients, like, I realize I have a really good day if I give myself enough time. Like if I don't give myself enough time, I'm having a horrible fucking day. I'm running around like a crazy person with my head cut off. Like I'm fucking hitting things because I'm running around and I'm running late and I'm pissed off because I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Like I'm going to tell this little funny story. Something I'm always going to say to you guys is I love my husband very much, but we argue. Like we're not like a picture perfect couple, and any couple that tries to tell you that like they're picture perfect and they never argue and shit like that, they're fucking lying. And I can guarantee you that they're going to break up in 2 years time and it's going to be the worst thing ever. Okay. Me and my husband, we argue, like we go tit for tat, like we can go at it, but I love that man with all my fucking heart. Anyways, I got up so late the other day. Like I had to be somewhere with my parents and I needed to be there in like 30 minutes. But I also wanted to put overnight hair curlers in my hair so I can have my hair curled so I can be looking a little decent later on in the day. Right? So I scramble. I'm getting up. I'm like trying so fucking hard to get ready. Mind you, I need to be there in 30 minutes. My parents live about 10, 15 minutes away from me. I had about 10, 15 minutes to get ready and I wanted to look cute while doing it. Honey, that was like recipe for fucking disaster. My adrenaline was through the roof, anxiety through the fucking roof. I was getting frustrated with the hair curlers, the overnight curlers. If you've ever done overnight curlers, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Like hair getting caught up in the thing. I'm overstimulated as a motherfucker. Like I was going crazy. Like I literally, and my husband was just, you know when man just asks questions, right? Oh my God, he was just asking me questions and it ended up turning into an argument. But if I would have just given myself time, like if I would have just woken up a little earlier, if I would have chosen myself to give myself that time, I would have avoided all of that. I would have avoided the anxiety because for me, like if I feel anxiety in the morning, I'm going to feel anxiety all fucking day. Like that shit don't go away. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of stays and lingers with you. That energy just lingers. If I would have chosen myself first, like if I would have actually done that, then I would have avoided all of that. I would have avoided the little spat me and my husband got into. I would have avoided the anxiety, the overstimulation, the adrenaline, all of that. Like I would have avoided it. And then I would have been able to get to my parents' house on time and things would have been great. And I would have had a great start to my day. My day later got better, but it was a horrible start to my day. So giving myself time has tremendously changed how I show up for myself. That is how I show up for myself, is I give myself enough time. Not saying every day, like I'm not going to lie and be like, oh my God, every day I get up at 5 a.m. and I do everything that I need to do. No, sometimes I like choose sleep. And that's the thing too, is you can choose sleep. That's fine. Like choosing sleep is also choosing time for yourself. So you can apply this in different areas of your life. But giving myself enough time in the morning to get ready, to have a slow morning really helps me in my mood, my anxiety levels, things like that. It helps me so much. So I really, really advise you guys to how would giving you time help you? So what time do you need? Do you need time to like get ready? Would that help you? Do you need time to like sleep? Would that fucking help you? Because I know a lot of people out there who are running on like legit fumes and are getting like 3-4 hours of sleep. Sleep probably would help you. That time of sleeping would definitely help you sleep, or time of rest for sure. Time of like prepping your meals, things like that. Like there's so many different things that you can do with time and helping yourself. Oh my God. It's like one of my favorite ways of showing up for myself, and ways that I show up for myself with my time is, like I said, getting ready in the morning. That is like one of my favorite things. I'm a beauty girl at heart. I've always been a beauty girl. So getting ready in the morning, like doing a quick makeup routine, having my hair done, maybe putting on a cute outfit. Like I love fashion too. Fashion's like one of my favorite things. Being able to put a cute outfit together, like it just sets the mood for my entire day. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you need to do your hair and makeup because that's going to make you feel so much better about yourself. And that's kind of how you're going to show up for yourself. No, but it helps me. It makes me feel better. It makes me start off on a great foot for the day. It sets the intention and the mood for the day. Whereas if I'm waking up, rolling out of bed, and I'm just brushing my teeth, splashing some water on my face and putting sweats and a sweatshirt on and going on about my day, for me, Kianna, that is not going to set the good intentions and good mood for my day. That's going to make me feel like blah the whole day. But if that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel like you're going to have a good day because you're comfy and you're cozy, then do it, babe. Do it. Do whatever the fuck makes you feel good. Another way for me is reading. Reading is one of my biggest escapes. Specifically, I feel like I've said this before on the podcast, or I've told a million people, fiction books. Reading fiction books, you guys. I understand, yes, reading self-help, and that's great, but your life should not be consumed by always wanting to help yourself, always wanting to better yourself, and always wanting to heal. Yes, you should heal, duh. Like we should always be healing. We should always be trying to like, better ourselves, but there needs to be 30 fucking minutes in the day where you can like have fun and you can like escape this fucked up version of fucking reality. And by doing that, for me, is by reading a book. For some people, it could be watching a show. Some people could be watching a movie. Some people listening to a podcast. But for me, it's literally curling up in my bed and reading a fucking book. That time, me and my husband always have that time. For him, it's listening to music. He owns a record store, as most of you guys know. So he loves vinyls. And we literally, like 30 minutes a day, he like goes into we have two different we have multiple rooms in our house, but he has his own record room, and he goes in there, he puts his record on, and he does what he does. I go into our room and I literally cuddle with my dogs and I read my fucking book. And it has been something that has helped me so much, of just being able to escape this fucked up fucking reality, because most of the time we've got so much shit going on, and I just need to escape for a little bit. And those books help me. So reading about 30 minutes a day, at least, of my like fiction book. One of my favorite times of the day. I can just escape who the fuck I am. I feel like I put my kiannajit hat at the door, and I'm just like me and who I am, and I curl up and decide to become a different, like one of the characters in the book, and it's amazing. My third way to start showing up for yourself. This is a big one. I need you guys to open your ears, listen. Set your boundaries, but stick to them. Stick to your fucking boundaries. It is different to just set your boundaries. And I know that's hard alone. Setting a boundary is hard as fuck. Like, it is so hard. And then to stick to them, like, bitch, you're asking for too much. You're asking for way too fucking much. But you have to. Setting a boundary and then not sticking to them it's worthless. It's useless. You just put yourself through so much fucking anxiety and stress to set the goddamn boundary. You're not even sticking to it. You just wasted your time. Stick to your boundary. That is how you can show up for yourself. Because if you make the promise to yourself to stick to your boundary, Oh, that's truly where the life changes, where the way you live your life changes. Because at that point, when you stick to your boundary, nobody is going to be walking all over you because you're sticking to it. It's different to set the boundary. That's hard alone, but sticking to it, that's where the real fucking hard work comes in. Okay? You have to choose to make the promise to yourself that you're going to stick to the boundary. It does not have to do with the other person, the person that you're making the boundary with. If it had to do with the other person, if you were making a promise to that other person, you'd probably stick to it. And that's the shitty part. That's the sad part about us as humans. Most of us, I should say, not all, but we are so obedient to others that if we made a promise to them, we would more than likely stick to it because we have somebody else to answer to, and because we're so obedient to others but not to ourselves. So you have to change that mindset of promising others to promising yourself and keeping that fucking promise. Because if you keep that promise to yourself of I'm going to set this boundary, but I'm also going to stick to it. I'm not going to let anybody make me waver it. I'm not going to make anybody change my mind. The only way to change this mindset is to choose to change it. Nobody can do it for you. You have to choose every day. That's the only way to change it, is choosing. Every day, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to choose to continue to set this boundary. If somebody always steps on your toes at the office and always parks in your fucking parking space, no, I'm going to choose today, no, you need to move your car because that's my parking space. Every day choosing, no, you need to do this, and sticking to the boundary. Whatever boundary it is. And I know, I get it, babe. I get it. It's fucking hard to even set the boundary in the first place. Like, I've lived the anxiety of having to work up the courage of setting the boundary, because if you have to set a boundary, more than likely this person has already taken advantage of you multiple times and they're used to taking advantage of you. So the fact that you have to gain the courage and do a little bit of confrontation, something that probably you don't really like to do, and stick to it, it's like, bitch, what the fuck are you even asking of me? Like, this is how I start to show up for myself doing this. This is not fun. This is not easy. I get it. It's not fun. It's not easy. But this is when your life begins to change, because if you continue to allow people to walk all over you the rest of your life, you're not going to get very far. You're going to continue to go down the slippery slope. The things aren't going to be offered to you. You're going to always get passed up by other people. So you need to start changing this mindset now. Wherever you are in your life, you need to hear this message of change the mindset now and start to choose yourself. Choose yourself in boundaries, choose yourself in time, choose yourself in putting yourself first. You need to start choosing yourself and start showing up for yourself. And the biggest way you could do that is setting a boundary and sticking to it. I promise. So tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to choose to stick to your boundaries, whatever that is, setting the boundary and then sticking to it. Set and stick, bitch. Set and stick. Set and stick to the boundary, okay? Our very last way to start showing up for yourself is dismissing the value of other people's opinions. Okay? Dismiss the value of other people's opinions. I need you to listen very, very closely. Because I was somebody, I still am. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm never going to sit here and tell you guys that I'm picture perfect. I'm not. I used to be somebody who deeply, deeply, deeply cared about what other people fucking thought of me. I would always think about, are they talking shit about me? What do they think of me? How do they feel about me? What are they saying about me? Like, I was that person. I struggled with it for a long fucking time, you guys. I was constantly worried about it. And I would do things to make I would think that, okay, they like this, so then I'd make myself do that so that way they like me. Like, how sick. I was so constantly worried about what people thought about me. And when I decided that I was going to realizing that you do not have the power of controlling how they think. You don't have that power. You can't control what they think of you. You can't control what they say about you. You can't control how they look at you. But what you can control is if you care about it. Okay. And when I realized that, when I let that soak in for a little fucking bit, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's true, because here I am doing other things that I don't even want to fucking do, things that I don't feel called to do, things that like they didn't fulfill me. They didn't make me feel full. They didn't make me feel like a good person. I was doing these things to make them like me more, make them feel good about me more, make them say nicer things about me. And when I realized I can't do that, I can't force them to make me, or to make them think better about me, or to make them like me more. They're going to feel the way they're going to feel about me regardless of what the fuck I do, right? People are going to make you or think about you in a way that you can't control. And when I realized that the only thing that I can control in this situation is how I care about it, how I feel about it, and how much it affects me, is when I changed my mindset of realizing that I'm going to choose peace for myself. I'm going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose confidence for myself and not for others. And that was when the fucking script flipped, bitch. And I stopped caring about what the fuck people thought about me. If I cared about what people thought about me now, I wouldn't be sitting on this fucking couch. I wouldn't have the things that I have, and I wouldn't be doing the things that I do, and I wouldn't have the dreams and goals that I have. So stop caring about what people think about you, because you can't control it. You have to let it be, let it flow out of your mind, body, and soul, babe, because that what they think of you and what they say about you and how they look at you is only a reflection of what they think about themselves. Okay, we are a mirror of what people see of themselves, and they are a mirror of what we see of ourselves. So the next time you start to like question yourself, or the next time you start to think about how the fuck are they thinking about me, or what are they talking about when they talk about me, like what are they saying? Let it flow out your back, because honey, all they think about is themselves, but they're just making a reflection, or they're just saying it's about you, but really it's about them. Okay? And start caring more about yourself. What am I doing, right, in my life that makes me feel full, that makes me feel fulfilled, makes me feel like a good person? And that's when your life really begins to change. That's how you start to show up for yourself, is doing things that make you feel like a good human being, making you feel full and fulfilled. Okay. And I want you guys, after listening to this episode, I know I just threw like hella shit at you. I just threw a lot at you. I asked you to do things that are going to be really fucking hard. I asked you to do things that you probably never in your life want to do, and it's going to fucking suck. I'm not going to lie. But I want you guys to journal. I ask you guys all the time, journal, journal, journal. I want you to, every single thing that we talked about today. So let's like recap, right, of how to show up for yourself. You're going to put yourself first and actually fucking do it. How are you going to put yourself first? In what situations are you going to put yourself first? I want you to write that down. Next, I want you to write down taking your time and giving yourself the gift of time. How are you going to do that? What is it going to look like for you to give yourself the gift of time? So if you're somebody who like works a lot of hours and you're running on fumes all the times, or you're like always drinking energy drinks because you're fucking tired, so like maybe rest. Or if you're somebody that like you're like me, who wants to get ready in the morning and who stresses out when you're late, giving yourself extra time in the morning, waking up a little bit earlier and having more of a slow morning. How are you going to start giving yourself the gift of time? Setting your boundaries and sticking to them. What boundaries have you set recently, and how are you going to stick to them? If you haven't set any boundaries recently, what boundaries do you need to set, and how are you going to stick to them? And then a last one is dismissing the value of other people's opinions. So how are you going to dismiss that? What are the possible opinions or opinions of people that have a really big effect on you? What are they? Write them down, and then how you're going to dismiss them. Maybe you can say some affirmations of, I release the idea of people not liking me. I release the opinion of blank. Like whatever the case may be, say some affirmations to help release them. Do a little bit of a meditation, things like that. But I really want you guys to journal this shit out. Like journal it out. That's something that really has helped me start to show up for myself too, is journaling. Like I feel like I talk about journaling almost every fucking episode, but journaling, it is going to help you tremendously. It's going to help you get shit out, and you're going to feel a lot better, a lot lighter, and you're really going to be able to start implementing these things into your life and start showing up for yourself. But I hope you guys had a really good week. I hope you're going to have a better week this coming up week because you guys hear this on Sunday. It's finally October. You guys, it don't feel like October where I'm at. It literally feels like 100. It is 100 degrees. It's insane. Next week is going to be Ask Your Besties. So make sure you guys are asking your questions on the Bestie Talk Instagram. I will be answering them here on the podcast. I hope you guys have a great day. I love you so very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.